Morning, this is Gus Postingle, the leak detective. We are talking about waterproofing today, and specifically about sump pump failures, things that can go wrong with sump pumps. I am the leak detective, and if you need to get a hold of me, that's how you do it right there. You can email me questions you might have about sump pumps, whatever you need to know about them. I'm certainly not an expert in all things mechanical, but I can tell you the effects sump pumps have on water leaks, and that's really what it's about today. All right, so sump pump failures. We've got basically four we're going to go over today. I'm going to try to keep this slideshow to about a 5-minute presentation, so about a minute per slide. So we're going to go through leak failures, how leaks grow larger, water outside the footing problems, and then it's not getting all the water. Basically, the second leak fail. I call this because when a sump pump is put in, you can see this area in yellow here. I'm not sure if it's going to record any kind of pointer, but that yellow line that goes around the corner of the basement and over to that circle, that's the sump pump, the circle there. And then the yellow line represents a drain tile system. So if you have a leak along this far wall, it'll get into this drain tile and get over to the sump pump. What happens when the leak doesn't come in that wall? I see this all the time. Pretty much every job I have has a sump pump in it already, and water comes in a new wall. That's a very common problem, and unfortunately, sump pump companies don't really know how to address this other than to come and give you a new expensive sump pump line. I know there's a way to fix all leaks without sump pumps and drain lines, virtually. Only 3% of the leaks I actually would recommend a drain tile sump pump system for. And we'll talk about that on another video when we talk about myths of high water table. Secondly, another very common problem is that the leak grows larger. Now, I'm going to keep getting into this idea that sump pumps don't stop leaks, they keep your basement dry. That's their sales pitch. They may say it stops the leak theoretically because it's not leaking in the basement or on the floor, but it actually just catches the leak, shuttles it under the footing, and then carries it over to the sump pump. So your basement is still leaking. It's just getting the water before you see it most of the time. Now, in the case of this house, there's a yellow line, there's a circle where the sump pump pit is, the red X's show where it's protected, but the leaks tend to grow larger because they never fix the cause of the leak. So whatever is damaging your footing and causing water to get in is still continuing to do that, but it also can get worse over time. And so sump pumps fail because the leaks will simply get large enough that they cannot find their way into this sump pump system. So that's what we're showing here. The next myth is, or I guess sump pump failure, is water outside the footing. In order for the sump pump system, the interior one, to work, water actually has to leak into the basement. Think about that. You've got the sump pump system in your very expensive $10,000, and all you've done is you've made sure the water gets into your basement really efficiently. May seem like a great idea if they're pumping it out, but that's why they sell those expensive backup and triple backup and quadruple backup pumps, is because they've made your basement a whole lot less waterproof by putting a sump pump in it. And if you think about the sump pump failing, that is a catastrophic event. So they have created a very perilous dynamic for your footing and your basement, and water will remain outside the footing the entire time. How much leaks in, we don't really know because you can't measure that. If the drain tile system was below the footing, I could see how they may justify saying that the footing is kept dry. But again, that undermines the structural stability of the footing as well. So sump pumps do nothing for water outside, and especially below in that little graphic on the left side of the footing, that lower area is water that remains to do damage to the footing. So the water is getting into the drain tile system, leaking in somewhere, it's being caught, but water will remain outside to damage the footing. And then the final fail is that even inside the sump pump system, the drain tile system does not remove all the water. Since it's a gravity-fed system, any water below the drain tile line remains permanently, obviously to cause mildew, mold, moisture, vapor getting into the basement. They try to seal that up. That's why they have to seal it up. what I would suggest is actually stopping the cause of the leak, keeping the footing dry, interior and exterior. It can be done. It can be done very cheaply. My expertise is in finding out how the water's getting in and stopping it. We focus on resolving groundwater issues before they get to the footing. So I am the leak detective. We are right at 15 minutes. Thanks for watching this slideshow. Hope it was helpful for you, and we'll come at you soon with another one.